report in.
Red 10 standing by.
Red 7 standing by.
Red 3 standing by.
Red 6 standing by.
Red 9 standing by.
Red 2 standing by.
Red 11 standing by.
Red 5 standing by.
Would you like to have this song on your playlist? Funny you should ask. Now available on the Reverb Nation Jinx Las Vegas site. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is going to be a fun one today. We are in studio. I still have shingles. Slowly on the way out. I'm sure you wanted to know about that. Fresh off my tour with Access Vegas. This is the Rational Mail from Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, thank you very much. Anybody want a vitamin C? Oh boy, here we go. Let's see. Let's start with this one. Thank you, courtesy of Kyle.
It's June, Pride Month.
It's also Men's Mental Health Month.
But no better time than now to let your junk hang out at the parade.
Jackie joins us live at the Pride Fest.
We're here live at Identity Fest, where sausage parties meet Scissor Central.
Today I'm a pan-dimensional soul fox identifying as a pansexual.
Stunning and brave. Back to you, Erica.
What a powerful way to honor Men's Mental Health Month by not mentioning men at all.
That's right, Erica. In other news, parents who don't give their kids puberty blockers are going to jail. We go live to Tammy, reporting from the front lines of mental illness.
We're here with a parent who listened to the Jewish community. What inspired this journey?
He said he wants to be a girl.
That's so courageous.
Wow. That's not gross at all.
No, it's really not. And now for the weather.
Artificial clouds forming over the Pacific, heavy aluminum particulates incoming, with scattered bursts of direct energy interference. Could be another Lahaina. Stay alert.
Wow, climate change is wild today. Good thing Newscomb emptied the water reservoirs. Wouldn't want people putting these fires out.
Newscomb.
Act needy is because they've been programmed to reject femininity from such a young age. Stay with me. So I'm Jamie Date. I'm a dating coach for men. Okay, so as little boys, what were you taught about girls, right?
This is exactly why you do not take advice from women when it comes to dating.
Girly traits are bad. If you were kind and soft, then you were crying was just for girls, and losing to a girl, embarrassing. I mean, the only value girls had in a boy's life didn't hit until puberty, when sexual experiences became a form of social currency among other boys. I mean, a girl's value wasn't really her herself. It was what she could do for you.
No, it was actually it's something called evolutionary psychology and evolutionary biology. Very little to do with social acculturation at this point.
In the eyes of your male peers. And at that age, that's programming. That's a program belief. And unless
one of the things that I find interesting about like female dating coaches and stuff like that is they're all rooted in social constructionism, which is what I would expect anyways. But the problem is like they all tend to think of male problems or like clinginess or girliness or whatever the fuck she's talking about right now in terms of like how it would affect women, like how it would affect a female as opposed to a male. And so she's basically trying to like slap female identity onto just a human being with a penis.
That programming is recognized and questioned, that's going to stick. So now we have men that have never questioned that programming. They reject feminine traits, the softness, the emotional openness, the nurturing side.
How about this? Their brains are fundamentally wired differently than men, than women. So how about that? How about we're not like emotionally retarded and stunted if we didn't cry at the end of Titanic? Like, how about we just don't have the hardware, precious?
Only ever feeling safe to be this way around women. Making it so that when these boys grew up, they solely relied on women for all of their emotional needs. And if
how about they're just pussies?
you're only relying on 50% of the population to get your emotional needs met, I mean,
what are they supposed to do? Like have cuddle fest? hey, Kyle, come over here. I'm feeling lonely. You want to snuggle with me in bed tonight?
Maybe that's a failing grade. So what's the fix? Men need to deepen their relationships with other men. Like,
How?
Outside of football. If men recognized and valued feminine traits within themselves and their male peers,
they'd be perfected humans. They would be more human, because the more you deny your masculinity and the more you push away and tamp down that those conventionally masculine aspects of yourself, the more perfect a human being you'll. In fact, you're not even human at all until you become more feminine.
They wouldn't need to rely on women for all their emotional needs, thus making them not needy and therefore.
So essentially become homosexual because women are tired of your shit and we don't want to carry the emotional load for you. So start sucking dick.
Or attract more women. Because it's my belief that male friendships will actually be the thing to save modern dating and men in general.
I see. So she's just basically put all of the blame of modern dating on men, not like, I don't know, getting together and snuggling under the big weighted blanket or some shit. Oh my God. Okay, we need a palate cleanser.
More content for men. More what could be perceived as predatory content to engage with emotionally vulnerable men. There's nothing innocent about it, is there? Reeks of ulterior motive.
I don't want to steal drugs from my father. I don't want to go inside a monster, and I don't want to die.
I say it's worth a shot.
Yes, I agree. Let's do it.
It's more stuff made by women for men to attract men. What is going on here? Is this feminism? Feminists in chat, can you describe to me how in any way this is empowering and a push for equality? I'm not even just being facetious here. I'm actually curious because I'd like to see if this redefinition of feminism, female supremacy, let's just say. I just want to see if maybe I've missed it entirely. Because I remember what it used to be, and then historically what it was before that. But what this is now, isn't this literally the exact thing you wanted to get the hell away from? So what are you doing?
I know Jake Monroe's appearance flips people out, but he's a goth, so it's but he is so fucking on point. I reached out to him and I got him in my DMs finally, and so I'm going to see if I can work out some sort of collab with Jake. But he's just so fucking on point, man. So I have to throw him in every single one of these days.
Is what do females actually find attractive in a male physique? We're not talking about personality, big biceps, that doesn't matter. There is a general shape of an attractive male physique that seems to be a near or actually universal. This is what almost all women prefer. No surprise, it is wider shoulders and a narrower waist, giving you that Dorito chip look. How do you build that in the gym? You want to preferentially train your delts, your shoulder muscles, for sure, especially side delts, which bulge out to the sides, as nomenclature would indicate. Definitely the lats, the under the armpit musculature of the back that makes you wide, especially from the back, especially in clothing. And of course, the upper pecs to give you that armor-plated look. A lot of times, folks will say, okay, narrow waist. What do I do in the gym for that? And the reality is there's really nothing you can do in the gym to narrow your waist. Really, a thick waist comes from too much body fat and not really the gym. And waist size is mostly about calories in, calories out. You can't crunch your way to a tiny waist. You can't do sit-ups. Just keep a certain lower to moderate level of body fat to keep your waist as small as it can be.
What's his name? Dr. Mike. Yeah. These are my new follows these days. Yeah.
Men get so few compliments that if you compliment a man, he will remember those words for the rest of his life. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that sad? It's cute though, but it's sad, you know? Because as women, we get so many compliments, we don't even believe you anymore, right? We think you're fucking with us now. You know, you're just wearing that messy bun and those dirty sweatpants around your house, and your husband's like, you look good. You're like, fuck you, you did this to me. But if you tell a guy you like his hair, he will have that haircut for 45 years, okay? He's never changing his haircut, right? You tell a guy he looks good in blue, closet full of blue shirts, never buying anything else other than blue, right? I bet if we ask some of the guys in the audience what that compliment is, they'll remember it. They'll remember that one thing that girl said to them that one time, right? Sir, you have your arms crossed like you hate me. Either stretch them out. Get a little stretch. Take up some space. You're a man. Take up some space. Yeah. Do you remember the best compliment you ever got? Is it still sitting up there? No, you don't. Because you tell a guy you like his smile every day. He looks in the mirror. He's like, you good dimpled son of a bitch. Let's fucking go, right?
Is a currency of appreciation. A woman is like, tell me the truth. And then you tell them truth, and they don't like that truth. Men are wondering, I go to work every day, even to a job I hate. Why do I have to do a long list of chores before I get sex?
Why is it that men feel that way and women don't feel I'm always in trouble? What do they feel instead?
We feel afraid. Men get accused of being the ones that are unfaithful, but we're equally, if not more.
You sent him a text,
Uh-huh.
you can see that he saw it, but he didn't reply. What would a queen do in this scenario?
She wouldn't do anything. There's nothing to be done.
If you want honesty, you have to always have the reward of the honesty be greater than the cost of the honesty. What are the most attractive qualities in a woman you would choose to marry? Can you guess what the number one answer is? Men and women are constantly seeking strength. And this is a thing women don't know about men. You guys...
So fucking... That is like so standard. That is so casual. Oh, they're seeking... strength. Oh, really?
think you're insensitive, but you're not. You're extremely sensitive. A woman who's self-confident is...
Trust me, baby, I'm not looking for strength in our relationship from you.
Truthfully, like going through your content and reading your books has changed the way I've seen not only relationships, but just humanity as a whole.
Says the guy with the mushrooms in his logo.
I want to know what you mean by masculinity. What does that mean to you?
Men doing the right thing because it's the right thing.
What the fuck? Wait a minute, back this up.
I just want to know what you mean by masculinity. What does that mean to you?
Men doing the right thing because it's the right thing.
Men doing the right thing because it's the right thing. The business of America is business. Did you see here? Watch this. You didn't get to. You have to watch this, Kyle. This is too good. He's in the bathroom. Hang on.
I just want to know what you mean by masculinity. What does that mean to you?
Men doing the right thing because it's the right thing.
What does that even mean? He really has no idea.
If she 20,000 guys,
if I loved her, I wouldn't care.
Nasty. If you are a man and you have decided that a woman with a 20,000 or 30,000 body count, it doesn't matter to you, there's something dead inside of you as a man.
You said that you effed a whole platoon.
Oh, yeah.
How many dudes did you sleep with?
Probably at that time, like 20.
Is this like for real? 20? Okay. Where do you even begin?
Right? Isn't it nasty? Ugh.
Engagement, but having the same fight over him perceiving my tone of voice as being disrespectful. He says I only get an allotted number of chances before we break up and are incompatible for marriage.
Run. I think respect has become a very loaded word.
Okay, you know nothing about respect, dude. What's this guy's name? God damn it! I always block on this dude's name. He's got a pretty popular podcast where people like call in. Somebody's going to give it to me in the chat here. But the chick, actually, the chick is the one that I wanted to focus on this. That's Alex Clark, Alex Clark. She's going to be speaking at the Turning Point USA thing coming up next week. And boy, do I have some news for you.
That means you never challenge me. You never call me out. You never point out anything. You do what I say. And that's not respect. That's manipulation.
This guy said, I want to marry my girlfriend, but she's messier than I am.
Oh, shut up, marry her. Good grief. She should not marry you.
How can a marriage get back to what it was before my spouse cheated?
You will never, quote unquote, get back. That's over. The question is, do you want to build something totally new? And is that hard? Yes. Is it challenging? Yes. Is it scary? Yes. Can you do it? It could be amazing.
This girl says, when I first got with my boyfriend, he said he was so attracted to me for having a really successful career and how hot it was. Now he's saying he hates how I'm always stressed out, that I don't cook enough for him due to how much I work outside the home. Why the switch?
The dudes your listeners are involved with, man, it's crazy.
Should you wait to marry someone until their debt is paid off?
No. And I work for Dave Ramsey, for crying out loud. I'm telling you no.
What is...
Well, that explains a lot.
Is a habit that you and your wife have that you think has tremendously strengthened your marriage?
Asking each other every day, what's your picture of today look like? That's been probably
polyamory.
Beneath religion, money, political beliefs, the number one characteristic that determines whether you have a good marriage or not. Are y'all friends? Okay, here's the big one. What's one you have?
So that's Alexa Clark or Alex Clark. Remember that. In fact, I think I might just leave that in there because this guy is I forget the dude's name. He's a fucking idiot. Especially when it comes to respect. And we already know what I'm going to say about respect.
So somebody asked, aren't women aware that if they reject their husbands a lot, it's demoralizing? No.
No, the medium is the message.
No, this is a huge aspect of what we talk about in couples counseling.
John
If a
DeLon,
woman has lower libido, she thinks you're just basically asking her, are you hungry?
no, she doesn't want to fuck you because she has no desire to fuck you. Like, how is this not? This isn't calculus. Why do we make this calculus? This isn't like algebra 3, man. It's not. This is not trigonometry. Okay. This is not advanced mathematics here. This is just like, are you hot enough? Yeah. Does she want to? Is she DTF? Like, I've let's see, on July 20th, I'll have been married for 29 years. Let me explain to you something as a man who's been married. Well, and I've been with my wife for 30, so or a little more than that. Let me explain something to you. Are you DTF? Yes. Problem solved. Imagine that. I can't believe it.
And she's saying no. Same as if she asked you, do you want to eat? And you said, no, I'm not hungry. She wouldn't take it personally if you didn't want to eat. She would think you weren't hungry.
Yeah, but if you don't want to fuck all the time, that's indicative of a much deeper problem than just like hunger strike.
So it's the same thing in her mind when you ask to have sex. She thinks, no, I don't want to have sex. In couples counseling, women's minds are blown that the man takes this personally. They think of it as this need that some people have or a want or
perhaps you're satisfying somewhere else.
hobby almost, and they're saying, no, I don't want to play pickleball right now, basically. And then the fact that the guy could take that personally as like a measure of his self-worth or his attractiveness or something, that blows the minds of a lot of women.
Actually, it doesn't blow minds because who spends inordinate amounts of time making sure that they are attractive all the time, even once they're in a fucking relationship? See, all this shit is cope, man. Like, this chick's a marriage counselor. You can see all of her credentials in the back there, right? I have no idea who she is, but again, this is why you don't take relationship advice from women. Again, this is not trigonometry. This is not calculus. It's just basically, it's endocrinology. it's are you hot? Are you DTF? Or are you not? It's really that fucking.
Perform well as a man in the liberal space. There has to be a certain level of like castigation you have to do toward masculinity and like a promotion of femininity that's almost exclusive.
Okay, this chick should be in jail. I just wanted to point that out, just first and foremost. So why Tim Pool, she's on Tim Pool. This is erudite, not so erudite. She belongs in jail for being an accomplice to Destiny's sex crimes. So that's first and foremost. Yes. Why do I say that? Because she's the one that was trying to broker hush money between Destiny and Pixie. And as far as I know, the only those two, but I know that there's 3 other women that have the same charges. I don't know if he tried to broker hush money between them, but I do know this. She has admitted to being the one who was the go-between between Destiny and Pixie, trying to arrange a sum of money to basically keep her quiet. So you belong in jail just as much as Destiny belongs in jail. That's number one. Why you would give her a platform, I have no idea. Why anyone is giving Destiny a platform at this point is all it is to me is easy grifting money. That's all it comes to. And it's old. It's like leftovers in the fucking fridge, in the back of the fridge that you didn't know you had back there. And the fact that she's talking about like the topic du jour on the sort of liberal, like what's left, I should say, of the liberal democratic front that was so popular during 2024 is all about bringing guys back to the fold. How are we going to get guys back to the Democrat Party? You're not. That you have nothing to offer them. So all she's just doing is damage control, more damage than control.
Exclusively performative, right? Especially because as a woman, I wouldn't say liberals are like inherently better at like certain forms of sexism, right? Like there's a lot of times where I feel like just my existence, I just don't get respected as much, like at a default.
This isn't sped up, by the way.
Oh my God.
When you see Tim talk, he's talking like a normal human being, because she and Destiny are both on Vyvanse. And quite a lot of it these days.
Even in liberal spaces. And so what I think happens is there's a lot of performativity. And in the case of on the left, we've had this issue where if you want to be left coded, and by left coded, I mean perform, appear, and feel left. You've got the language, usually some aesthetic, right? I appear more left than I.
It's funny, like the idea of being programmed doesn't even like register. I'm left coded. Coded by who? Who's doing your coding? Is it Progressive Victory? Because that was the last Democratic super PAC that I think you guys were PAC. I don't know if it's super PAC, the PAC that you guys were involved with. But this is the face of drug abuse right here. This is just like, I don't know. Have you ever taken Vyvanse?
Yeah.
Would you say it's this side of methamphetamines?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Vyvanse is a hell of a drug.
Right, I've got like a choker on and whatnot. In all these ways, if you want to perform left, you have to do some level of service to femininity. And if you're going to talk about masculinity, you have to caveat and couch it within these other things.
Yeah, see, you can never. Once again, this is actually a pretty good compare and contrast, because if you remember the girl that I showed in the beginning, like the blonde girl who was talking about like, oh, men were programmed because they they need to get together and have like fucking struggle sessions and drum circles and fucking cuddle sessions or whatever, and then they'll feel better about themselves and stop putting so much emotional work upon us. Go jerk your go start a circle jerk and you guys won't be depressed anymore, basically. And now you've got from the more liberal side here who's basically saying the same thing. I think this is interesting because this is going to be part of a theme that I've got going on today, where when we look at conservative, you look at liberal, and you look at whatever, Christians and atheists and all this other shit that's going on right now, they're really just different sides of the same fucking coin.
That's how I kind of view it, which if you're a young man, you're just like, what the fuck? Like, where am I?
Maybe that's a good way to put it. It's
so. Anyways, let's pull that out of there and let's put me in. There we go. There you go. Much better. Gosh, I love this. This camera's. You're fucking awesome. Greetings. Hey, welcome to the show. So back in Red 1, I still have shingles. Sorry. Well, they're all gone. The rash is completely gone. It's just like, it feels like, people ask me like, what does it feel like? I'm like, it feels like somebody took 30 grit sandpaper to your back and just like scratched it as much as possible. And then they took a jar of fire ants and they put the fire ants on your back. And then, like one of those little shock sticks, like
cattle prods.
Yeah, like cattle prods. Every now and then,
That's what the nerve
that's
shock,
what it fucking
right?
feels like. Yeah, it's like, oh my God. So I'm on I guess this is the second half of the shingles experience, which I've never, and I would not wish on my worst, well, maybe Destiny, but I would not wish on my worst enemy. Oh, hey, who had Mike Sartain at 1:28 p.m. 1:28? Because I didn't. I don't know if you guys did or not. Let's see. Oh, he's just responding to something that I sent him a little while ago. There's going to be, I don't know. Do you ever watch The Expanse? Maybe it's a series. Oh, me and Mike are like way into The Expanse. Like he turned me on to The Expanse, and there's going to be a new video game or like probably console game that's coming out that's based on The Expanse. And so like we're all like, GTA 6 is not going to be here till like 2026 or some shit like that. So we're like, okay, well, throw me a bone. Yeah, I love The Expanse. Anyways, so so still dealing. My wife always says, don't talk about your sicknesses. Don't talk about I'm like, I can hardly not talk about my sicknesses. It fucking hurts, man. It's bad. It right now it's not so bad, but it's like when I have to when I'm sleeping, and you have to think about it.
And there's
nothing else to think about except for fucking fire ants on your fucking 60 grit back. Yeah. And it's just underneath the skin. It's like your skin's crawling kind of thing. It's just, it is going away. It's probably about 10% less every day. So I guess we're making some progress. Anyways, I got some really spicy announcements for you. Rolo, why did you show Tim Pool at the end? Because I got invited to go on Tim Pool. I will be out there, if all goes well, according to plan. I will be out there on the 17th of June to do Timcast IRL. And I'll be on there with none other than the lead singer from All That Remains, Phil Labonte, my good friend. So, Phil's a good dude. I saw them, they were touring with Megadeth and Mudvayne, I think, last year. And pretty damn good show. I love me some Phil Labonte, so he's just a good dude. So, and we're both about the same age, so we're like kind of like these Gen X rockers. Anyways, so that's coming up, and then actually the whole premise of today's show. I'm going to have you guys help me with something today. I'm going to reach out. This is an outreach program today. I got a call. Well, I got a text, I should say, from the people from Piers Morgan's show. And Piers Morgan's show wants me to be on their show or do a panel show with them tomorrow morning, which I'm going to do right from this studio if I can work it out. But I have not heard anything back from them. So I'm about 50-50 that it's going to happen because I haven't heard anything back from them. They haven't given me a link. They haven't told me where to show up. I don't know. Is this typical from Piers Morgan? I have to ask because like sometimes like these people who you think like have their shit together, they're really just making it up as they go along. They're flying by the seat of their pants, man. It's like I would argue that, and this is not to put too many feathers in my cap, I would argue that the Access Vegas is a much more well-produced show than like 90% of the shows that I participate in, just because it's like, if you ever wonder why, like when today we were fucking on time. We were on at 1:05, right? We were on a spot on time. Access Vegas, sometimes we're on time, sometimes we're not, but generally that's not me and Mike's fault. That's because we're waiting on 2 or 3 bitches to show up, right? Yeah. Same thing with like Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit is definitely on Fresh and Fit time, right? So, and they'll be the first to tell you that, right? You say, "Oh, look, it's 7:30. I can do 7:30." Shit doesn't start till 10:30. Yeah. Who else is on the panel? Well, funny you should ask. Here's who else is on the panel. Alex Clark, apparently. Well, let's just dive in. I might as well just show you what I'm talking about here. Anybody familiar with this? This is the Young Women's Leadership Summit that's going to be going on at Turning Point USA, which is, I believe, the 13th through the 15th. So it's next week. And these are the women that they've decided who are worthwhile. Okay, Alex Clark, imagine that. Oh, and look who else is in the top billing there. We've got what is it, Kirka? What's her name? Erica Kirk. Would that be Charlie Kirk's wife? Oh, and then we've got Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard is thrown in there. So I don't know how many of these chicks will be on. I know that they're trying to get none other than, and you've probably already seen her, Nala Ray is in the panel, and that is actually the topic of the show. Does this bitch actually deserve to even be on this show? Because if you know anything about Nala Ray, she just had this miraculous conversion to, I don't know, evangelical Christianity, not but a year ago. I think December of 2023 is when I saw her get baptized, and then everything came down for her. Like, suddenly she's doing, Michael Knowles does 2 fucking interviews with her, and she's essentially admitted to the fact that she's been using whatever podcast and Brian and the rest of these guys is just sort of like convenient tools. They're convenient tools, whatever you want to call them, to essentially grow her brand. And now that she's decided that OnlyFans isn't what she wants to do anymore, well, what is she going to do? Well, how about Christianity? That sounds pretty good. A lot of other chicks are doing it too. Why not? Right? Oh, and in case you're wondering, yes, that is Lila Rose there in the middle of that second row down, and 1, 2, 3, 4 slots over. Then you'll see Lila Rose there. Who's Lila Rose? Lila Rose is the chick that supposedly put Justin Waller on spot about, 2 years ago now. When myself and Mike and Justin were out there. And after Mike and I had left, Justin stuck around a little bit longer. And Lila Rose shows up, and she's the one that sort of put him on the spot for essentially having a baby mama and enjoying the attentions of other women outside of his marriage, right? Well, everybody wanted to, sort of give her a gold star for what she said. Until Lila Rose decided that she was going to misappropriate funds, and I'm going by memory here, but this was back in 2024. How she, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, because maybe you guys know better than I do. but I think she was under investigation for misappropriation of funds or embezzlement. The fact being that she's making literally millions of dollars on her sort of pro-life charity, and of which she is using it for extravagant galas and parties and her lifestyle and everything else, while she is like paying her staff, a pittance. And according to the IRS reports, I want to say a whole $28,000 of like the millions that she ended up scamming off of people actually went to a fucking charity. So, Sam, if you want to look that up, I want to be 100% accurate with that, because if she ends up showing up on the thing tomorrow and all this actually really does go down, I want to be prepared for that. But Lila Rose, as far as my knowledge is concerned, she's never really beat the rap as far as the embezzlement accusations are concerned. So that will be the first thing out of my mouth if she happens to be there. What'd you do with the money? But more importantly, the real topic is Nala Ray, and should Nala be actually part of this? Well, according to my sources, Charlie Kirk is the one who insisted that Nala Ray be on the bill. So I'll let you guys do with what you want with that. But remember, she was the one who sort of duped Michael Knowles into, I don't know if you guys remember the Mount Olympus interview of her and her boyfriend. And it was like, they were in heaven, man. It was like these Greco-Roman columns and this duvet that they're sitting on, like Socrates and Aristophanes. And we're just going to talk about logic and the life and philosophy and stuff like that. And it's like, this is a child. This is a fucking child. Why are you? In what world does this person's opinions matter whatsoever, right? And it just goes to show you that all you have, I experienced this firsthand in 2023 and then into 2024. All you have to do is have a great pair of tits, and all you got to do is put a crucifix necklace, a nice little silver diamond crucifix necklace, and everybody wants to believe that you've had some real sincere conversion over to Christianity. Now, here's the problem with this, and you guys probably already know where I'm going to go with this, but I need you guys to help me prep for this for tomorrow, okay? So everything I'm going to talk about today is sort of some way backwards related to having this sort of panel discussion with Pier, assuming it goes down, with Piers Morgan, right? Is it from 2011? What you got there? Lila Rose ends her credibility once and for all. Okay, I will look at that. Put that in the chat for me, will you, Sammy? Thanks. Just so everybody knows that I'm not full of shit and I'm not just pulling this out of my ass here. So, but should Nala Ray even be? Is Nala Ray such an inspirational figure that she should be at the Young Women's Leadership Summit? Really, Nala, can you tell us about leadership amongst young women? Nala, what did you do to become such a great leader amongst women? Nala, tell us about all your past and everything that you've done to be this great entrepreneur. And who did you have to go through, and what were the ups and the downs and the ins and the outs of your previous career that led you to being the leading young star of women today? Well, what exactly did you go through? Is it going to be like a TED Talk? I'm still wondering here. But so, like, why on earth? Like, this is okay. So, also before you answer that, we have to go and we have to look at the most recent video from Nala, from our good friend Nala, because I would be remiss in my duties here if I didn't. Where did I put that? I think I've got it here somewhere. Maybe that's not it. Hold on a second. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I know I have it here. Was it on my thing? That's not it, is it? No, that's not it. Anyways, let me see if I can find this for you. It's a video of Nala Ray. And she is basically baking. What is she? Oh no! Sorry. It's on my desktop. Is this it? Yes. Okay. Here we go. This is the most recent video of Nala Ray.
Another
Sorry, I gotta put the audio down on this because I'll get a copy strike. That's Frank Sinatra. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much copyrighted. So here she is making up something. See, all it takes. Still doing the cum face. Cum face. I love this. Okay. Spreading it out. God knows. Oh, this is the cinnamon, right? She used to work for Cinnabon, right? Of course she knows what she's talking about when it comes to this shit. Mom must have taught her. Look. Oh, see? She's so wholesome. She can cook you cinnamon buns, for crying out loud. What's the matter with you people?
I mean, she still looks like a porn star, and she's doing the porn faces. And if you really converted to Christianity, wouldn't you just get off the internet after that?
Think those are hair extensions? I sure the fuck do.
Prove to us that you're really a Christian and just log off the internet forever. I can go look up your porn right now. And this girl got a job working for Charlie Kirk. I got 300 million views in my first 3 months of posting and still no job offer from TPUSA. Whose dick do I have to suck to get a job working for TPUSA? She also married a black guy. Gross.
Oh my God. So I don't know. I think I'm in pretty good shape for this debate tomorrow. Assuming she shows up, assuming it even goes down, right? I honestly, you know, what gets me is one of the things about, I don't know, being in my niche or whatever, or being an influencer or whatever the fuck it is. I don't even know what to call myself, right? But doing what I do and doing this kind of stuff, it's appear or disappear. Okay. And what I mean by that is you got to strike while the iron's hot. So this might have been controversial when they texted me and asked me on Thursday if I wanted to go on the show on Monday. Now things might have changed. They might have thought, you know what, fuck that. That's yesterday's. That was the last news cycle. Let's go with something else, right? Which is probably why I haven't heard anything from them. And if I don't, I'm not going to cry over it. It wouldn't be the first time I got stiffed by Piers Morgan, by the way. Anyways, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm on that side of the fence. I'm pretty sure she's not. She's still grifting, man. She's just a different grift, and she's rubbing it in your nose, or your nose is in it right now in Cinnabon. She's rubbing your noses in Cinnabon right now, and this is something that I wanted to point out. I think I already showed you guys this video, but let's just do it again. It's timely and it's pretty short. So let's throw this. Oh, here it is. This is yours truly, by the way. What did I say here just last week? The reason why women tend to be more drawn to Christianity is because it is based on forgiveness. No other religion really can make that claim. Like if you're absolved of your sins, it's like you just say one prayer and repeat this mantra long enough, and then you don't have to worry about your past anymore. Fuck yeah, you know. I mean, that's how awesome is that? You don't have to do any works. You don't have to atone for anything. You're completely sinless for it, anyways. Of course, is it any wonder why women are drawn to traditional conservative Christianity or whatever it passes for it these days?
Same thing Martin Luther exposes.
Yeah.
Paying for your sins to get out.
Exactly. And again, like if you look at Islam, hell, you look at Judaism, you look at certain branches of Hinduism, Sikhism. Like there's got to be some sort of atonement, right? Or instead of just like this blanket forgiveness. And I'm not saying that there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but I do understand that that's the appeal. So yeah, Jesus paid the price. Okay, I 100% agree, and I also understand how convenient that is when you're someone like Nala Fit, or Eva Lovia, or I don't know, Riley Reid, or whatever that, or Mia Khalifa. Although I think she pretends to be a Muslim these days. Yeah, so there you go. It's easy to it's easy to convert to Christianity because Christianity is unassailable. And what do I mean by that is you, and I ran into this when I was hypercritical of Cake Tits, which was Isabella DeLuca or Isabella Moody? I can't remember which one. One of these chicks had just basically shown her tits, puts a crucifix necklace on, and now suddenly she's wholesome. Now suddenly everybody goes, well, you know what? Maybe we should give her a pass. She does have big boobs, and they're probably fake, but that's okay. We'll make an exception for her because she seems to be on our ideological team. No, she's tricking you. Same thing with Nala Fit. She's tricking you. In some cases, literally tricking you. And so the problem that runs what this is it's what I call the prodigal son narrative, and it could be the prodigal daughter, right? Obviously. So what is that? That is the prodigal. So what is the prodigal son? Okay, it's the story from the Bible, the parable, right? Which is the prodigal son gets his inheritance and he goes off. He says, Dad, give me my inheritance. I got to go off and seek fortune and fame. And what does he do? He goes out and he spends it all on hookers and blow. Okay. And so he has a really tough time trying to turn his inheritance into something else, and he blows it all, and he's like basically alcoholic sleeping in a ditch somewhere, right? And says, okay, well, it's better to go back home and be a slave or be a pig swine feeder or stall mucker or whatever it was at the time, right, than it is to be out here. So he comes back into the fold, and of course what happens? Dad throws a party for him, and it's slay the fatted calf, and it's my son hath returneth, yada yada yada. And we're pretty much familiar with the prodigal son. Well, the thing is like from a sociological and a sort of a human perspective, I know we're not supposed to say that about Bible stories, right? But from a human perspective, you can't assail that narrative, because if you do, you attack the religion. But look, how does this motherfucker get his inheritance, and you're going to go and slay the fatted calf? Dad, what the hell? At least make him work for it. At least make him muck the stalls a little bit more. At least make it hard for him. No, it's all good. Come back into the fold, because the prodigal son narrative is not about the prodigal son. It is about the true believers. It's about the people who go, see, we told you. We told you. If you take your inheritance and you go and spend it on hookers and blow, this is what happens to you. Good. Well, here's a prime example of a guy coming back to the fold after he said that he renounced Christianity and then he came back to Christianity again. Yay! Let all the trumpets sing and the angels sing and the trumpets blow, right? And that's really every time you see this kind of, and I'm not just limiting it to Nala Fit, right? There's lots of guys who've done exactly the same fucking thing. Okay. I can think of Julian Blanc, for example. I can think of, Tucker Max, all these guys who were these incorrigible bad boys. And then suddenly they knock up some girl and they marry that girl. And now we got to live the right life. Well, what brought on this such a radical change in you, Tucker? That kid right there. That's basically what it was, right? Because remember, people don't change unless there is a barrel of a gun to their heads. For the most part, in 98.9% of cases, people don't initialize particularly personality changing, changes in their paradigm shifts in their life unless they have to, unless they are zeroed out, unless they bottom out, unless they hit quote unquote rock bottom, right? Unless they are forced to do so, they will not initiate any kind of change in their lives. And rare is the person who does it and initiates the change on themselves. And usually it's because there is a perceived threat to their way of life and they needed to preempt that. So when we're looking at, say, the prodigal son narrative, it's about the people who are the true believers, because it reinforces that true belief. So as a result of that, if I'm critical of Nala Fit, or if I'm critical of Tucker Max, right, whatever, it doesn't make any difference. If I'm critical of the prodigal son, I'm not critical of the prodigal son. I'm critical of the true believers. Because the reason why sort of quote unquote trad femme women fight so hard for a slut like Nala Fit is because if they don't, it says that their religion is false. If they don't fight, if you question it and they don't defend it, then the religion is false. If they have any doubts that she's a grifter, and I mean like a high functioning God tier grifter, which she has admitted to on several occasions after her quote unquote conversion to Christianity, now we're going to have to are you above reproach? And that's the whole thing I want to point out when it comes to sort of like judging women or holding women accountable. You will never hold women accountable because there is an infrastructure that's already in place that's going to make you look like a piece of shit for even opening your mouth, for even questioning that change. And as I said in that one that I was mentioning in that one video, when it comes to forgiveness, it's a get out of jail, it's a get out of hell free card. It's usually at the time, and if you look at my, where do we go here? If you look at the timeline here that I have in my book, Preventative Medicine, it's my second book, available on Amazon. Please go buy it. But if you look at the epiphany phase and the transition phase that happens right around 27 through 30, that's when you're seeing women having an epiphany about changing their lives. How old was Nala Fit when she decided that she wanted to convert to Christianity? 27? 28? How old was Tommy Lahren when she had her fucking meltdown in 2020 and started talking shit? Oh, she's still talking shit about guys, but when we had that famous Grand Mall meltdown from Tommy Lahren in August of 2020, I remember because I went and did the response video, and Dr. Phil wanted to put me on with her, but they didn't want to pay for shit. They didn't even want to pay for like airfare because this was during the middle of COVID. So, but how old was she? I can tell you exactly how old she was because I went and looked it up at the time. She was 28 years old, and that was like literally like 6 months to a year before she married baseball dude. I don't know his name. He's now coaching. He's not a player anymore. Wow, surprise, right? And so now she's still bitching and complaining about. Now she's just bitching and complaining as a married woman instead of a single woman. What do you got to complain about? You know, people give me shit all the time. They're like, "Well, Rollo, why do you complain about?" Complain? I'm not complaining. I'm just like just mouthing off my observations, right? But how come you complain about marriage all the time? Like, I don't complain about marriage. In fact, I've said marriage is the cornerstone of Western society. I don't know how many different ways I have to say that. I said that marriage, the way we do it today, I have a big problem with. Marriage in the sense of it being an institution, I don't have a problem with that. But that's from an idealized state. Now, that said, how come nobody's giving shit to Tommy Lahren? She's married. Why does she have anything to complain about? Why is she talking shit about men? You're already married. Get the fuck out of here. You have nothing to say because they tell me the same thing. They tell me exactly the same thing. Rollo's married. He can't be red pill. Rollo's red pill. He can't be married, right? The old joke. Sure. Why can't I? If Tommy Lahren can, we're going to take her dead ass seriously to the point where she can go on Laura Ingraham and then talk with Megyn Kelly and all these other bitches. How come I can't say the same thing? Because I'm a dude, and any observation that comes out of a dude's mouth is automatically complaining because men have all the power, right? So if you're observing something that is in any way unflattering to female nature, you're complaining. No, I'm just pointing out a fact. And I'm sick and goddamn tired of having to fucking defend that all the time. And you'll understand why I'm saying that later on today's show. But it's a constant etching. It's like this fucking 30 grit sandpaper that's on the back of my fucking back and putting fire ants on it. No, it is a constant droning. Oh, the red pill is just like feminism for men. No, conservatism is just like feminism for men. It is exactly the opposite, and I'll explain to you why here in a little bit today. I do want to go through some announcements real quick. I kind of got off on a tirade there. I apologize, but we're getting towards the top of the hour, and I got to put these out there. So as I said, I'll be on Tim Pool. That's coming up on the 17th of June. Then I will be on Pierce Morgan probably tomorrow. I don't know if it's live. I don't know if it's recorded. I shouldn't say that. It's probably recorded. Then, also, Access Vegas. We are not doing Access Vegas this week, but we might be going to a weekly format now that Tristan Darshan is now out of Harvard and got his psychology degree from Harvard University. So we'll have a Harvard-educated professor on staff for Access Vegas. I know it's almost like overkill, isn't it? So when Mike can't do it, whether he's like, I don't know, judging Swimsuit USA or whatever he has to do, Tristan and I will sort of carry on. And whenever, my Mike's always the co-host, right? But when he can't do it, Tristan's going to be the fill-in. So we're looking at doing it on a weekly basis. We'll see how it goes. It will still be on Wednesdays. The only time it won't be on Wednesdays is this next week, because I will be in Bunker Hill, West Virginia. I've never been to Bunker Hill, West. I've never been to West Virginia, period. So I'll be able to check one of those states off of my list. What states have you been to? Well, now I can say West Virginia. So I'll be going out there because apparently that's where the new studio is that Tim Pool has got going down. I don't know who else is going to be on the panel, so please don't ask it. Again, they don't. I don't know because they don't. I only know Phil Labonte is going to be on there. I said if Phil's there, I'll do it. See how cool I am with you, Phil. Take me on tour. Take my band on tour. We could just be the first ones. Just give us 6 songs. Just let us open for you, please. Anyways, so I got that. Now the next thing I've got on the list here is June 14th. We have the Reignite webinar. It's a 2-hour gig. It'll be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. On Saturday, this coming Saturday, on the 14th. And it's going to be a Zoom call, but it is something you're going to have to register for. It is free. No hard sale. I'm going to be talking about confidence. I'm going to be talking about alpha mindset and mental point of origin in this one. And how those are all interrelated. A lot of the stuff that I talk about at these free webinars really they're almost like focus groups for the book that I'm working on right now. But they're also, I want you guys to get an idea of what Reignite is really about, because we're like, I hate this. We're really excited about, okay, we're not really excited about this, but I'm in a much more positive, I'm cautiously optimistic, put it that way, about Reignite, because after we came back from Miami, things started to really get rolling for us, and we had a lot more interest. We have more responses to the plugs we're putting on Instagram, and primarily because we're showing what we're doing, right? That's what I want to show you guys is. We go deep sea fishing, right? There was 5 of us and 6, including myself, on this boat. We're out there for a full day of fishing. Caught my first sailfish. I got a big ass blackfin tuna. That was good too. Yeah. And God knows we got so much mahi. I can't even be I think we had a dozen. We got a dozen legal mahi. And it was just a really good day fishing, but it was a better day just sitting around bullshitting. And I want you guys to know that when I do Reignite, it's not like sitting you in some classroom where you're counting the hours, going, looking at the clock, and it's fucking schoolwork. I absolutely don't want that. I want guys to want to be there and be engaged the whole time. So if we have meetups and stuff like that, it's usually at a lounge, or it's maybe we got an Airbnb and it's like a nice, couch and coffee or whatever you want to drink. I don't know what the fuck, but we do stuff. We're also going to, we have another event that's coming up in August that coincides with Babes in Toyland. I want to say it's August 14th. And so we'll be at the Babes in Toyland event, which is a charity event. It's at the Sahara here. It's at Club Asilo. Is that the one that's in there?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so we'll be doing that. We're gonna go shooting. We're gonna go shoot automatic weapons.
Oof.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna go shooting. If they'll let me put my Camaro on the track out at the Speedway, I'm going to go do that. I know sometimes they will let you go. I mean, you got to sign a waiver, but they'll let you go and do that shit. So drive fast cars and whatever else you want to do. Probably go to a cigar bar here and there. If I can get Cappy to come out for it, I will. But just want to let you guys know that when we do Reignite, the reason why I'm doing these free webinars here is just sort of give you a freebie, man. It's like it's 2 hours out of your Saturday, right? So I'll be doing that. Joe Maron will be with me. Joe Marron will be with me as well. He's going to run me up the flagpole for saying that. That is this webinar right here. Here we go. With me, essential steps for growth, whatever you want to call that. Basically, what I'm talking about is a lot of the stuff I have covered on. If you follow me on Substack, which you can in the links down below, you'll already be familiar with a lot of the topics I'm doing right now because a lot of them coincide with that. And so we'll be doing that. It will be Saturday, June 14th. It will be 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. That is Pacific time. Okay. So that would be what? 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock Eastern is when it would start. So that's where we're at. And if you want to get in, the link is actually the second one down. That's in the description down there. So you can check that out. So have that. Also, I already mentioned this earlier. I'm trying to do a collab with Jake Monroe. Jake Monroe is the guy with the makeup on and the long hair and the goth look and everything else. Jake's I hate to stroke him any more than he already is, but Jake is a unique individual. And I've come to learn that after just following him and having some interaction with him. And I will tell you right now, like, he gets it. And I know he looks like a clown. I know he looks the way he does. That's his thing. Just let him have it. Okay. Listen to what the dude is saying. In fact, I would say that because he looks the way he does, I had to like focus a little bit more on it too. Right. But what he talks about when he talks about feminine, he's very much, he's red pill without realizing that he's even red pill. And so, and I like him because, like, you know, he's a goth guy, I'm a rocker guy, whatever. So we kind of have that sort of, you know, what is it, subculture thing going on, I guess. So anyways, there you have that. And then last announcement, and I am happy to announce this one. July 3rd, if you happen to be in the Las Vegas area, my band Jinx is going to be playing at a backyard party, at a private party. But if you want to go, hit me up in the DMs and I'll give you the address. It's like one of those, like, hey man, you can't get in unless you know somebody. My band's going to be playing on July 3rd. I want to say it's probably more towards like 8 or 9 p.m., but it's summertime, so it's probably still be a little bit light out. But it's a backyard private party. We're going to have strippers. We're going to have swimsuit models. I'm trying to think who else is there. It's I want to say it's not the Panther House. There's a name for the house. It's like a content house is what it is. And Jake, our drummer, actually got us this gig because he was doing construction work and he was doing remodeling for this house, which is it's a content house is what it is. And so they were like, yeah, they couldn't do a 4th of July thing because nobody wants to come. Like you can't get chicks for 4th of July. They're all off doing something. They're at the Rhino, right? They're at the Hippo. They're Sapphire, whatever. But so we're doing it on the 3rd. And if you want to go, you can DM me or you can hit me up on Twitter. However, all my contacts, like, again, are in the description. But we'll be playing on July 3rd here in Las Vegas. So if you happen to be in Vegas, if you happen to live in Vegas, just hit me up and I'll get you in. I'll get you past the velvet rope at the content house. Ooh, watch out. I'll give you a box of tissue before you go. All right. So I kind of got to my second thing already. I wanted to point out a few things. I know what it was. I want to show this one really quick.
Talking about engagement, but having the same fight over him perceiving my tone of voice as being disrespectful. I only get an allotted number of chances before we break up and are incompatible for marriage. Run.
Okay, so this is Deloney, and then this is Alex Clark. I didn't even know who Alex Clark is. She's this chick on, where'd she go? There she is. She's the one that's top row, and she's the leftmost one, Alex Clark. Okay. Again, these are influencer kind of people. She's really more about like nutrition and stuff now. She's kind of pivoted out of the dating thing, but apparently this is one of her more recent ones with Deloney.
Run. I think respect has become a very loaded word. Respect means you never challenge me.
No, it doesn't. And I think we need to really sort of break this down for our good friend Deloney. Respect is a gendered term, brother man. So if you go and you look up the term, if you look up the word respect in the dictionary, you will find 2 definitions. Literally, you'll find 2 definitions. One of them is the male definition. The other is the female definition. The male definition is merit-based. What have you done that makes you respectable? Why should I respect you? What have you done? What have you achieved in your life? It's not a judgment call per se. I mean, it is, but men base and organize societies based on hierarchies. How is that hierarchy established? Respect. If you're private first class, you got one level of respect. If you're the sergeant, you got another level of respect. If you're the lieutenant and on up the chain of command, all the way up to general, admiral, whatever, brigadier general, whatever it is, all the way up there, that is by delineation, by order of respect. Okay, so the guy who's got more responsibilities, the guy who's the 5-star general, is a little bit more respectable than the 3-star general, right? Whether that's the case or it isn't, it's still the office of it's still the uniform that he's wearing right there, okay? So men tend to organize society based on hierarchies. You'll see it in the workplace. There's the COO, the CEO, the CFO, and on down to the janitor, okay? Same thing works for competitive team sports, right? There's a team Mark Stone, team captain for the Vegas Golden Knights. So there's always this kind of this hierarchy. Now, is it based on can it be based on performance? Of course it can. But that performance is also relative to what you are capable of performing, right? It's what makes you respectable. It's merit-based respect. Then there's the female version, which is everybody deserves respect. And it's really what he's talking about right here. Well, there's this confusion. We need to break down respect. Yeah, we do, because you don't understand it, Deloney. Whatever his name. Mike, what is his name? Mark Deloney? Mike Deloney?
John or something.
Mike Baloney. He doesn't get it. He has his, I can tell you by talking to a guy and we bring up the topic of respect. And if that guy starts to lean over towards the female, like egalitarian, common courtesy definition of everybody's deserving of respect, it's participation trophy bullshit, right? I can tell you that guy's mental point of origin is women. That's what are women going to think if I don't toe the line here, if I don't carry this water? And then in some cases, they don't even know that they're carrying the water. It's just second nature to them. What other definition of respect is there? Oh, I don't know, the merit-based one that men have been using since we were throwing spears at each other and smacking us with like clubs. Yeah, that kind of respect. Like, I can kill you respect, right? Potential for violence respect. And so like when I see stuff like this, it's like the guy simply has only ever been taught the female definition of respect, which is everybody's deserving respect. And the answer to that is no, they fucking aren't. You're not entitled to fucking anything, much less respect. You earn respect. You merit respect. You do things that make you respectable by order of degree. So there's certain ways that you can say, well, we should all respect the working man. Yeah, we should. But we should also respect that guy by what the guy does and how he goes after it every day, right? So keep that in mind, and let me add her back.
You never call me out. You never point out anything. You do what I say. And that's not respect. That's manipulation.
This guy said.
Okay, so that's not respect. Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. What is respect? The thing is like we always know what it's not. That's not respect. That's manipulation. Okay, what the fuck is respect then, Deloney? Please tell me. I love it when people go, well, we need to fundamentally change. I know what it was. I was watching The View and Joy Behar. I think I might have the clip. Joy Behar was talking about, we don't need to spend this money on outreach to young men to bring them back to the democratic fold. We need to take that money and use it wisely by teaching them not to be sexist. Yeah, that ought to reach out to them, Joy. Good job. You keep that up, please. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing, Joy. But the thing is that it's a demonstration. It's an indictment of a mindset. Oh, well, they're all flawed. Remember what I said? To be more human is to be female. That's really what Deloney's got here going on here. And that's really what the rest of these people have going here. To be female is to be fully human. To be male is to be subhuman, to be less than human. And so if we could just get guys to like cuddle with each other and express themselves more emotionally, like our female dating coach in the beginning, like if we could just get guys to sort of, I don't know, get together and get under the nice warm blankies together and talk about our fifis, right? Then you would be a human. Then you would cry at the end of Titanic, and you would no longer be a stunted emotionally. You're emotionally unavailable. Why? You didn't cry at the end when Rose dropped the heart of the $250 million heart of the sea down to the bottom of the ocean for some dude that banged her once, 100 years ago. So I'm aware of the meme. Rose is the true villain of that story. She is the true villain. I'd rather be his whore than your wife. Jesus Christ, man. Like when you go and you look, like remember movies that you like, movies and sitcoms and series and things like back in the 90s, which that 97, I think. Back in the 90s, if you went back with the red pill lens, you would, oh my God, bitch. Who do you think you're talking to? But that was all about empowerment, man. It was all female empowerment. I'll quote Turd Flinging Monkey here. Female empowerment is the #1 most debilitating, I'm paraphrasing, debilitating social ill of 20th and 21st century. It really is. And I've never been resistant to that message, but I've never like really just sort of like banged a gong about it. I'm banging the gong about it now. So anyways, I wanted to also, okay, so I think I made this point already. So there's a lot of, I know Andrew Wilson has talked about this recently about how traditional feminists or quote unquote, trad moms or whatever we're calling these girls today, whatever their designation is. Oh, by the way, Tulsi Gabbard is the keynote speaker. You do know Tulsi Gabbard. Where is that it?
That one,
Yeah.
yep.
You do know Tulsi Gabbard is a Krishna, right? Not a born again Christian. She's a Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah. You know how I know that? Because she was a Krishna back when I was writing my 4th fucking book, A Religion, and I was going over Eastern religions, and she was making it was like 2020, right? So like we were just becoming aware of who Tulsi Gabbard was, and I guess there was like a Krishna holiday or something like that, and she's like, namaste, happy and joyous Shvagashki day or whatever the fuck, Paroshki day. I don't know what the fuck it was, right? It was some holy day for the Christian or Krishnas. And I had to look this up. I'm like, what the fuck? Isn't this like from the 70s? Like, isn't this like the people who are like the bald headed guys at the airport wearing the big, the MC Hammer clothes? And apparently not. Apparently, Krishna, Hare Krishna, has grown up, I guess. And I was curious because at the time I was writing about religion, I was writing the book, and apparently, there was a really big influx of white Western women into Krishnaism, I guess, Krishnaism, during that time. And I don't know if that's still the case today, but when I was writing, there was a really big appeal, let's say, for Krishna, who, by the way, Krishna, the holy figure, Mr. Krishna, I don't know, whatever his name is. That dude fucked, man. I had to look it up, and I was like, well, what's this based on? Oh, well, why would women be drawn to Krishna? And well, apparently he's got like 10,000 wives. And you can be one of them too if you'd like to be. But I don't want to shit on anybody's religion because I don't know enough about it. But she's a Krishna. I wonder if Charlie Kirk knows that she's a Krishna. Has she converted to something else recently that I'm not aware of? Like somebody put that as if you know that she's not a Krishna anymore, and maybe she had a Andrew Tate come to Muhammad moment. I would like to know. So I'm just as out of the loop as you guys are. Oh, geez. Okay, let me get to, we got backed up here. Moralist Apex Fallacy, men should stop sleeping around and marry one woman as Christ intended without realizing that most men can't even get laid. Yeah, that too. when you talk about biblical marriage, what version of biblical marriage are we talking about? The Old Testament version or the New Testament version? Because there's a lot of different ways you could I'm gonna follow Father Abraham. I got two bitches, I got concubines, and I'm set, man. Sure, I'll get biblical marriage. Bring it on. Oh, not that biblical marriage. Okay, well, what else? Right? I have this one infographic that goes through all of the definitions or all of the situations that represent biblical marriage. For instance, if my brother died, I'm supposed to marry my brother's widow, right? That ain't gonna happen. I can tell you right now. That's not gonna happen. I mean, I love her to death, but I don't know if marriage is in the cards, right? But apparently, I guess that's not marriage. That's not biblical based marriage. There's a lot of different definitions for that. Which one are we? We need to really clarify terms. It's very important here. Yes. But I think you're right. It's funny how suddenly that becomes a very important thing for women once they are forgiven, once they've gone through the epiphany phase. And if you know anything about my posts, my articles on the epiphany phase, which you can find in my first book, The Rational Male, it's a chapter called The Epiphany Phase. You'll also find it in my second book as well, in the timeline thing. But the epiphany phase is when women realize that they can no longer compete at the same level that they used to. Okay. Well, isn't that hitting the wall, Rolo? Yes, technically. But remember, the wall starts here, not the body. The wall for women starts in the psychological. It's realizing that the 33-year-old version of Tommy Lahren would never be able to compete in the sexual marketplace with the 23-year-old version of Tommy Lahren. Well, I look good at 30. I'm sure you look fantastic, but that 33-year-old version of you would never be able to compete with the 23-year-old version. Them's just the facts, Tommy. Sorry, not sorry. That's why they call the store Forever 21, not Forever 41. That's why women spend inordinate amounts of money, billions upon billions of dollars on Ulta, on cosmetics. The cosmetic juggernaut. To look older? No, to look younger. Bravo. You finally I said it's not rocket science or calculus. You finally learned basic math. There you go. What else? Siege D, thank you. Rolo, do you think Trump versus Musk is kayfabe? Dude, I think everything is kayfabe. No, I mean, they were going to have a divorce at some point. I mean, you know that, okay, you know it's kayfabe? The Asperger's syndrome, Elon Musk telling everybody he's going to start his own political party. The dude can barely run Twitter. You think he's going to fucking start a new political party? I don't think so. And if anything, it will just give Democrats a victory. It really will. Unless he can get we need young men to get into the fold. Gotta love Google VEO. Yeah, that was from that one video. Alex Clark, who did the most softball interview of Lauren Southern. Yeah, funny how nobody's talking about Lauren Southern. What was it? Oh, it was Patrick Bet David. Shout out to PBD for interviewing Tommy Robinson recently. You know who wasn't mentioned in that interview? Lauren Southern. Lauren Southern fell off the face of the fucking earth back in September of last year. Nobody talking about her no more. Like, how do you come back from that? Like, how do you come back from destined, from mooning for death? Like, I mean, just borderline personality disorder, just sucking up to destiny, emotionally and physically and everything. How do you come back from? How do you come back from the fact that Destiny's ex-wife basically sold you down the river? You're not coming back. Bye. Goodbye. Enjoy your obscurity, Lauren. See you later. Yeah, same shit there. Yeah, nobody's going to talk. Do you think Tommy Robinson's going to talk about that? No. There was it was Patrick Bet David, and he was trying to promote the interview of him talking to Tommy Robinson. And he's like, yeah, we had a great talk, blah, blah, blah. And then of course, me being me, I had to pop off about Lauren Southern. And so I was like, I typed in there, I was like, yeah, yeah, not included, Lauren Southern, you know. And, you know, nobody answered because I don't think anybody got it. Nobody understood what I was, because there was a thing between Tommy Robinson and Lauren Southern, and a pretty obvious one too. But nobody knows about it, and it wasn't really as obvious unless you're Milo Yiannopoulos. And Milo jumped in and he replied to my tweet, and he was like, yeah, you're never gonna see Lauren again. I'm like, yep, bye-bye. Like, there's no way. I'm surprised Destiny still, maybe he's just too stupid to realize that he's dead. Like, he just can't accept that his brand and everything else is just completely like irrelevant now. I don't know, because he's still doing interviews and people are still giving him the benefit of the doubt. Man, fuck you for giving him a platform. I mean, I love some of the guys who are like talking to him. Just let the body die. It's like, that's like time of death. Can we call it please now? Like, for the love of Christ. There are more controversial figures you could go after right now. That's just, yeah, I just don't understand. Yeah, Lauren Southern, bye-bye. Enjoy your obscurity. Enjoy nothingness. That's the thing is, I guess, when I was talking to her ex-husband, what the fuck was his name? I forget his name. Oh, Aaron something or other. Aaron Cranston? No, it was Aaron something. Anyways, he was telling me like the worst thing that could happen to Lauren is like she would lose her brand, or she like would fade into nothingness. Wait, where's the evil laugh time? Oh, wait, here we go. There we go. I got my sound drops today.
I can put it on your voice.
Oh yeah, I do.
Lord Southern, enjoy pure annihilation nothingness.
Lord Korn has visited us today. Rollo, what do you think about making a separate channel for stuff you talk about with your Reignite Alpha group? I have a lot of responsibilities as it. You know what? I shouldn't shit on that. No, that's a really good idea, and I have thought about doing that. I probably will, but it's gonna be after the book comes out, because I have to put so much effort into this book. I hate it. You know me. I like to talk. I like to write. And so sometimes I'm trying to avoid having this book be overwritten. And so I could definitely see that after the Reignite book is done, then I would entertain something like that. But yeah, it can be separate from the red pill and about practices you teach as a group. Yeah, here's the problem I have with that. See, that's a great idea, but the problem I have with prescribing things is, I've always said I don't prescribe things. I put this information out there so that you guys can use that information to educate yourself and equip yourself and then better your life. Well, sometimes people need a step-by-step. Sometimes people need a kick in the right direction. Sometimes you just need a suggestion. Right? Sometimes it's as simple as just giving them data and letting them run with it. Right? But I've always avoided like giving you like 12 rules for life. Right? Follow these 12 rules, because you know the first thing anybody will do is go, well, I'm on rule number 4 now, but I think I'll feel better once I get to rule number 6. Right? And then, do I get a diploma for completing all 12 rules when I get to the end of the book? Like, they want this process. And the problem with that, and with pretty much all quote unquote life advice or self-help or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the problem with that is that people think of it as a formula, or they think of it as some sort of like some pill, right? Some formulaic, thematic kind of thing. And that sells a lot of books. I could do that. I could very easily use my superpowers for evil, right? I could very easily shine you guys on with the 9 rules of Tomasi. Everybody wants that to be a rule set. They want me to write a dedicated book that's just the 9 rules, the 9 iron rules of Tomasi. And I'm not going to do it. It's already in the first book anyway. But The reason I'm not going to do that is because what happens is then I turn into a cult figure. Then I turn into a guru. Then I turn into, he's a Tomasi man. I don't want Tomasi man. Please, for the love of Christ, I do not want. I want you to be your own man, and I want you to be responsible for your own victories and your own failures. Okay, just like I am, just like anybody else is. I'm not going to judge you for your failures, but unless you didn't learn something from them, right? And so I always run that risk whenever people say, well, why don't you do a book based on practices? I can do that. And then the minute I do that, I'm an ideology. The minute I do that, people go, it's not red pill. It's the Tomasi philosophy. And then they're going to tell me what my own fucking philosophy is. No. So I have to be very careful of that. It's not that I wouldn't do it. It's just I have to preface it with so much asterisks and caveats and everything before I do. So yeah, I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I'm just saying that I would do it very, very carefully. I'm technically doing that with the Reignite book right now. I'm trying to make it useful, but I'm also trying to make it not be a formula, like formulaic. I want it to be something that you can use these. It's almost like 48 laws of power, right? That is not a rule book. That is not a step-by-step guide. Clearly, what is it? Get others to do all the work and claim all of it. That's pretty fucked up. Okay, that's kind of unethical. It is a law of power, but it's a law of power that I would hope a lot of people are uncomfortable using, right? But it is a law of power. And what happens is that's why people used to think it was an evil book. Like they couldn't have it in prisons and 50 Cent had to approve it for people to read or whatever. And it's a fantastic book. It's always been a fantastic book. And it will go up as probably one of the, if you're going to ask me, Rollo, what's your top 10 books? That's going to be within the top 3 for sure. But it is not a step-by-step guide to ultimate power. What do I have that? Do I have my ultimate power? Oh, I don't have it on this one. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, you will not have power overwhelming if you get to Law 48. Oh, finally, now we can form the Mega Zerg or whatever. No, what is it? Protoss. What was the big Protoss called?
Well, the Protoss are the advanced. It's the Zerg.
But the Protoss, where the 3 of them come together and it's wait. Becomes the big bad one that can shoot big gigantic bolts of energy. There's some nerd that's going to tell me right now. It's been a while. You will win if you tell me what it is.
Archon.
Don't get me started with TPUSA Women's Leadership Summit with Alex Nalafit, Dana Lash, Allie Beth Stuckey. Oh boy, have I got one for you today. Nancy Mace. Yeah, wasn't Nancy Mace like stripping her clothes off recently? Like they always get naked. God. So we got Krishna. We've got Nancy Mace, strip her clothes off. Allie Beth Stuckey, who has like had more meltdowns than I can remember. Dana Lash. Dana Lash? You mean the same one that was, what was it from the intro? Well, we've heard about the Manosphere and we're all in the Manosphere now. That Dana Lash? Yeah, welcome to TPUSA. Nalafit, do I need to go on? Alex Clark? Yeah, probably not. Yeah, Jesus Lord. Here we go. Nobody panics when things go according to plan, even when the plan is horrifying. Did you know, man versus woman, Amazon Survivor betas are enemy number 1. Thank you for telling us that. Hey, Rollo, did you see Steven Crowder's video about being misrepresented on Piers Morgan? Yes, I know. That's why you have to record everything. You have to record, like if it's a Zoom call, you record it on your side too. He also recorded himself to show the unedited footage of what he said. I can email you the video. I have seen it. You know, that I know it kind of makes me not want to do this, but I might not do it at all because they haven't even contacted me to tell you. I've got no links or nothing right now. So we'll see. Yeah, they can't be relied upon. It's their game. They'll do whatever they want to. Nala started from the bottom and worked her way up. Yes, she did. How clever. I see what you did there. Kyle. A real man, I mean, Christian would insert here. A real man, Christian. Yeah. A real man, registered trademark. Meeting women at church. The odds are good, but the goods are odd. Put that on your fortune cookie. West Virginian Greyhounds have the softest fur. Good. I'm glad you think so. Dark Dev Knight. I've caught catfish in South Carolina and blackfish. Okay, in Long Island. What kind of fish can you catch in Nevada, and how do you cook it? Well, they have stocked trout. Like they stock the rainbow trout here. There's some lakes, like Lake Nevada has trout. They've got, well, they're called them wipers. They're not really striper. And then they've got a couple of different varieties of trout. One's a rainbow, which is the stalkers, and there's the native one. Then you can fish Lake Mead, but that's like bass and crappie and stuff like that. So it's shit fish. Nothing I would eat. I mean, maybe the trout, but other than that, ugh. If I didn't pull a trout out of Tahoe, I ain't eating it. Let's see. I suspect there was only one definition in the dictionary for the word respect prior to 1965. Yeah, you might be right. What's up, brother? Just checking in. Sir, Mr. Jason, I got your email. I got all that stuff that you sent me. Thank you. Yes, and I'm diligently going over it. I think the real divide is between men and women. As a black man, I have more in common with you than I do with my mother or my sister. Thoughts? It's because you need. Would you like me to go into really detail about this? Children in general need a masculine model and a feminine model in their lives. That's why having a heterosexual, married, loving mom and dad is a bigger advantage than anything else that you can give a child. And say, well, you need an involved father. Yeah, okay, but not that much involvement. You just need dad to be there. You need mom to be there. Because like people have, like, I've had guys hit me up and they will say like, Rollo, I'm a man and I don't want to take any risk with getting married, but I want kids. And I've found this artificial womb, or I'm going to pay for a surrogate mother, and I'm going to jizz in a cup, and I'm going to have the egg fertilized by me, and then I'm going to take possession of the child as a single father, as a deliberate single father. What do you think about that? I think it's horrible. It's a horrible idea. I think that is just as bad an idea as a woman going, well, you know, odds are I'm not getting married, and so therefore I'm going to go down to the sperm bank, find some suitable jizz, and insert myself with it, and therefore I will get pregnant. And just because she has an easier time of it doesn't mean that the principle is not the same thing, right? You need two parents. You need a masculine and you need a feminine, because that's what the child learns from. So like when guys are like, well, wouldn't it be, don't single dads raise better children than single moms? Yes, statistically they do. You know who raises better children than single dads? Single mom, or dad and mom. It's not calculus, as I said. This shit is not hard to fucking figure out, right? Would you like one of these shirts? Hold on, there we go. You can get one at the merch site, which is in the description. It's on Sticker Mule. If you go to the Sticker Mule, it says merch, right? Go click on that. It'll take you to my store on Sticker Mule. And you too can have one of these. Get them now before Lucasfilms shuts us down for pirating their imagery. But you'll find one there. And then you'll also find my Jinx t-shirts. You'll find, I plan on having Reignite stuff on there as well as my own brand of logoed, t-shirts for the Rational Male. So, yeah. So we'll get some of that on there too. And you know me, I'm an artist, as you can tell. I do good shit. I'm a designer by trade and an artist by night, I guess. But I do my own art. All of the Jinx stuff, that's me. All of the Trial of Ascension stuff, that's on there as well. My previous band, that's me too. I think that the real divide between men and women. Okay, I already got to that. Yeah, my thoughts on that is you need a male and a female. And so you need a masculine role model, right? Preferably one that is like conventionally positively masculine. Those are my thoughts. TPUSA Women's Summit is the equivalent to the you know what studios by the so-called president of the Manosphere. Is it really that bad? Maybe it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's that bad. Oh, you know what? I forget who, I don't know where I saw this. Somebody sent me this quick hit clip of Pearl once again stepping on her own dick about the Morgan Stanley Rise of the She Economy article that I can't just blame her because everybody fucks this up. But it's, hey, don't you know that 50% of women are going to be single and childless by 2030? No, you dumb bitch. That's not what the Morgan Stanley thing. There's no mention of childbearing whatsoever in that. And that's where that comes from. It's the Morgan. It was an article, a forecast by Morgan Stanley that was published in 2019. And it was a forecast saying that 42 or 45% of women will be single by 2030. Didn't say anything about child. They could have lots of kids. They're single. There's no dad, right? Because women have an easier time with it. But no, she's talking about this, and I noticed down at the bottom, like on the little chyron below, Pearl Davis, first woman of the Manosphere, first lady of the Manosphere. So does that mean that she's married to the president of the Manosphere? Oh, Anthony Johnson. God, it's so nice to have you as the butt of jokes now. Modern day religion is like a black hole. All the women's bad decisions get sucked in, but no accountability comes out. And why should it? Why? What is going to prompt any? As I said before, people, men, women, do not make change unless it grows from the barrel of a gun. All right, unless their lives depend on it. Unless the meteor is inbound, unless warfare, unless the tanks are rolling down Flatbush fucking Avenue, okay? Women aren't going to change. Men aren't going to change. Accountability? What the fuck is accountability? You know how many times I've heard that on various podcasts? Well, we hold women accountable. No, you don't. If you did, they'd be going, I'm going to go home and rethink my life. No woman has done that. And mea culpa too. I run Access Vegas. Do you think these chicks, like after Jedediah Bila was on here, do you think they go, that crazy bitch in Texas sounded pretty lucid, man. Maybe I should rethink my life. No, are you going to do it? Yes, sir. That's what it's going to come down to, because that's what it comes down to everybody. Accountability. Responsibility. That's a different story. How do you deal with women being pregnant? I try to avoid it every instance. That's how do I deal with it? I avoid it. It's like, why don't you wear a bicycle helmet? I drive around hazardous areas. Hormones are crazy and fitness tests out of control. Not enough literature out there on this. Oh, I beg to differ. I have written about pregnancy and I've written about menopause too. They're just not in my books. You would have to go and do a search for pregnancy for sure. But I know I have an essay called The Fog of Menopause, which is pretty close. Like a lot of people think that, the red pill begins and ends for women at like 40 years old. And even that's a stretch, right?
You're 40. You're not pretty anymore.
It's the wall. The wall begins up here. The wall does not begin here. I can show it. Boy, I could. Yeah. If you go up and look up Kindly Myers, and you know who I'm talking about. Kindly Myers is a piece of ass. Now, she doesn't have any kids, but she's been married for quite some time. If you go and you look up Kindly Myers, that bitch is hot, man. I'm just going to say. But she will be 40 in August. Do you think she has any trouble? Just go ahead and look up pictures. Do you think she has any trouble drawing male attention? Well, she's married, but do you think she has any? No. But could Kindly Myers at 40 compete with Kindly Myers at 25? No, because it's just simple logistics, man. So we need to back up off of that. But the thing, the point I was making here is like, a lot of people think that the red pill hasn't covered certain topics. I'm not saying this is you, K-Dog, but a lot of people think that the red pill doesn't cover certain topics. Like, oh, you guys never talk about menopause. Bullshit. As soon as my wife got into her mid 40s, I was talking about menopause, right? Before she was even menopausal. You think my wife hasn't gone through menopause? Yeah. So I've written quite a bit about that. But people don't think people think that the red pill is not nearly as extensive as it is, because they think that it begins and ends with Andrew Tate and Pearl Davis and Kevin Samuels and everybody else. There was a time back in my day, we used to tie onions around our belts and shake our hands at the sky, clouds. No, the red pill as it is right now is really the result of many evolutions, many variations. And along the way, odds are we've probably talked about some of that. So yeah. Pregnancy, to my knowledge, I'm the only one that's ever written about it, but I could be wrong. There might be some dudes that have written about pregnancy. Greetings from my new house, Roy K. On the plains of Colorado, like Longmire. I'll come to Reignite trip soon if there's another fishing trip. Yes, there will be. I don't know when it will be. Maybe the end of summer, because that was very popular. I had people hitting me up asking me if they could go. I'm like, there's only 6 slots, and I got to be one of those slots. So there's only 5 guys that can go on that trip. But not for the advice, except not for the advice except fishing. I'll be happy to just do that. That's all I wanted to do anyways. So, and we had a good time doing it. So it was awesome. I love doing that stuff. And the thing is, I mean, people are going to tell you this anyways. It's the camaraderie. It's having a tribe. These guys most of these guys have my number. If they need to text me about something, I'm always there for them. They're members, but they're also friends too. So, yeah. And that's the great part about Reignite is, I mean, not only do you get me, but you also get a wealth of knowledge from other people too, like Jim Kilgore for style. We got nutritionists, we got workout specialists, we got TRT specialists, we got Joe Marin is. You got problems like regulating your emotions. Joe's pretty good at helping you with that. I'm not. I'll make fun of you and tell you to fucking go take a lap is what I'll tell you to do. But yeah. So where are we at? We're at 137. So Pierce Morgan. I have to show you this. So this is we already talked about what's her face? Alex Clark. She's out of the picture right now. And then I already did this one, but I do have another video that I need to show you guys. And this is Trent. Trent, what the fuck is his real name? Trent something or other. This fucking guy. Hang on. Is it in here? Let's see. Or is it? Wait a minute. I might have put it on the. Oh, there it is. Sorry, it's still in my downloads. Got it here. Hang on. There it is. Okay, got it. Hang on one sec. This is Trent from the Council of Trent or some shit like that. I don't know what the guy's. He's sort of this low limit podcast guy, but some people are like sort of like lifting this guy up as he should be like in some way important to anybody. Let's see. Here we go. This guy right here. Okay.
A lot happier in life if you just treated women like people. Blue, red, and black-pilled men don't treat women as persons or people. Simps and the blue-pilled treat women as precious resources to cowardly acquire. Red and black-pilled men treat women as morally inferior to men and only useful when they are exploited or insulted. But the Manosphere treats women like how radical feminists treat men. They lump them together under ugly stereotypes and then blame all their problems on them. You'd be a lot happier in life if you just treated women like people. That just means recognizing there are good and evil women, just as there are good and evil men. Dating and romance for both sexes means.
So here's a problem I have with guys like this. I'm just going to stop it right there. We'll come back to it. Notice the use of the words good and evil. If you are a Trent, I don't know who this guy is. I think he might be speaking at TPUSA next week. anyways, yeah, he's full of cope, obviously. Thank you. But also he has a very stunted, retarded, and I mean that clinically, take on this pill and that pill and everything else. He simply doesn't know what the red pill is. And I'm sick to death of having to like course correct these idiots. Okay. They know that shitting on the red pill, they know that shitting on the manosphere is easy pickings right now. It's easy engagement. It's easy to shit on the manosphere, right? Oh, they're just like feminists. Are they? Because what happened, I mean, I don't know, maybe serendipitously, I was also at the same time I saw this video, I mean, literally like two steps down in my Twitter feed, is I come across this. And I'm like, God, is this you telling me something? So I come across this. This is a tweet from UN Women. Do you know what it means to be red-pilled? It's the belief. There's that word again. It's the belief that society favors women over men, a view that fuels harmful gender narratives. Okay, this is UN Women. UN Women is probably one of the most feminist, bastions of feminism in a global sense, because this is the UN Council for Women. Okay, that's why it's UN Women. All right. Red pill narratives are central to the manosphere and challenges progress on gender equality. Learn more here, yada, yada, yada. Red pill ideology, which it is not an ideology, but it has to be an ideology, because if it's not, you can't use terms like good and evil. Okay. I'll explain to you why I'm saying that here in a second. So red pill ideology means, like, this is a definition. Like they want to put, like, look, it's written as if this is a dictionary, Wikipedia, encyclopedic entry into what the definition of the red pill is. Red pill ideology. Like, they even spell it out phonetically for you here, as if this is like, as if we just put this in Webster's dictionary. Okay. It means to wake up to a reality that the world favors women over men. In reference to the movie The Matrix, it suggests that people who disagree have taken the blue pill. Boy, if life was just that fucking simple, man. I really wish it was. Then I have Trent in the next tweet down saying virtually the same fucking thing that the UN Women are talking about. But Trent's supposed to be this dyed-in-the-wool conservative. So who is more the flip side of the feminist coin? The red pill? The manosphere? The black pill? The doom pill? Which I heartily disagree with. Those are best practices. That's not it. That has nothing to do with the praxeology of the red pill. But what sounds more like feminism? What I've been talking about, or what this dumb fuck is talking about? Because almost word for word, the guy is basically paraphrasing, anyways, the same shit that UN Women are saying. I mean, almost to the letter. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, who the fuck is the real flip side to feminism? And the answer is conservatism. The answer is modern traditional conservatism is the flip side to feminism. They just don't fucking realize it yet. And I'm going to channel my turd flinging monkey here in just a second. And I do have that video on tap. Thank you very much. Like, you want to know what I'm going to talk about? Assuming I get the call from within the next 24 hours for Pierce Morgan. This is where fair warning. This is where I'm fucking going, guys. Pierce, all the rest of you, this is where I'll go. This is exactly what I'll bring up. Like, this is my warm up. Yeah, this is my warm up. Conservatism doesn't even know that it has a feminism problem. So you're going to say that the red pill is it's a flip side? No, it's you guys. You guys pulling the same shit. Oh, we're not feminists. No, you are, because your mental point of origin is women. As I've said before, and I've said this, I said this at was on when Laura Ingraham was talking to Tommy Lahren. I said this when she was talking to Megyn Kelly. Even my God, even Andrew Wilson when he was on. And by the way, thank you, Andrew, for being such a good representative of Manosphere. I know you don't consider yourself Red Pill, but he did a fucking bang up job on Steven Crowder not too long ago, talking about the Red Pill. Be nice if you give me a reach around. But anyways, yeah, I mean, so when I'm here doing the work, when I'm writing books, when I'm cleaning up Pearl's mess, when I'm giving you pod classes, when I'm doing Reignite free webinars and everything else, it's like it's nice to know that like some people like get it. But the fact of the matter is, I'm sick to death of hearing this, and it's always from fucking conservatives. It's always from conservatives who want to say, well, the red pill is just the flip side of feminism. No, you fucking motherfuckers are, because your point. Your ultimate goal is solving women's problems, is empowering women with more power, more authority. Well, you just treat them as if they're humans. Who the fuck isn't like? Name some motherfucking names, please. Name names. Put me on the list. I don't fucking care. Just say somebody. Say Myron. Say Tate. Say whoever the fuck you think it is. At least then we'll know you're an idiot. Right? Say something. Well, those red pill guys, they don't treat women as if they're human beings. I've been married for 20. Let me tell you something. I've probably been married longer than Trent. What's his fuck it, right? Probably been married longer. I've got my kid who's been married as well for the last 2 years. My daughter works in let's say marketing, not marketing. She works in PR. And she has done work for pro-life organizations, which I have no problem with, right? And so it's like, you guys, you think I don't, you think that the red pill, I'm the guy that wrote the fucking book. I'm the guy that wrote the Rational fucking Male. I wrote the Bible of the fucking Manosphere. Who the fuck are you? You're nobody. You don't know what you're talking about. Just admit I don't know what I'm talking about. I would have way more respect for you as a man if you could cop to that. But that's all it is. All it is just a straw man. In fact, it's worse than a straw man, because all of the things that the guy is accusing or use the vernacular, the words, the baseless accusations that this guy is asserting are exactly the same allegations that assert definitions that was supposed to go in the freaking dictionary now about the UN women and the Manosphere and the red pill. You don't know what you're fucking talking about, and you're not interested in learning. You're not interested in having your ignorance corrected, because that would be your brand would take a hit. You want to talk about it? Come to Vegas. I'll sit across right from this table right here. I'll be happy to talk to you. And I will be respectful. I'll be happy to correct you. I will give you whatever education. Like if you were genuinely interested in this shit, if you had like these guys, man, like the Trent, this Council of Trent fucking guy, whatever. These guys are very adamant. Like here, let me just finish this one out. Here, let's keep going with this.
Being prudent, so you don't end up being stuck with an evil narcissist in your relationship, be she a woman or he a man. But it also means that both women and men need to be realistic in the expectations they have for a future spouse, and not hold out for someone who only meets an impossible checklist. This is especially
what will be on that checklist. Like, can we go a little bit more into depth here, please?
True for women, because as they get older, the pool of suitable men to marry grows smaller.
No, they get uglier. Their sexual market value decays, Trent. And if you knew anything about the Manosphere, you knew anything about the red pill, that we talk about this ad infinitum. But you don't, because you're not familiar with what you're fucking talking
Whereas the pool of younger women who also want to marry those men grows larger.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your astute observation. Now, does this guy sound like he's got conviction? It sounds like to me. He went to all the trouble to make this video right here, right before TPUSA. So it sounds like you got a lot of conviction. One would think, one would hope that you'd be ready to defend that position. One would hope that to be that confident in your ignorance that you would be able to sit across the table and from Rollo Tomasi or whoever the fuck, I don't care, Andrew Wilson for all I care, somebody, one of the names you don't want to name, anybody, and defend that position. But you won't, because it's easier to shit on the red pill. It's easy pickings. It's cheap, and you are cheap. Gotcha. You are cheap, and your beliefs and your convictions are as empty as your fucking God, okay? So until you can sit here and defend your convictions, shut the fuck up. Seriously, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for 25 years now. Thank you very much. Would you like me to educate you on this? I'm not going to be I'm going to sound like I'm being a prick right now, but I will be happy to have a respectful diplomatic conversation with anybody who, by the way, I want to also point out, we just had CGA was in here with Fresh. People go, oh, Rollo, didn't you have a problem with CGA? No, I don't have a problem with CGA at all. I'm happy that he was here. I'm glad he was in this studio. I'm glad he could enjoy Red One Studio. I'm glad he could enjoy Red One Studio because I put a lot of fucking work into this. Miguel put a lot of work into this. Charlie put a lot of money into putting work. Charlie put a lot of money into this. So I guess he did put a lot of work into this too. So between the three of us, like this is this right here, even just having Kyle on my show as a regular now is the culmination of a dream I had just like 2.5, almost 3 years ago. Thank you for being part of the dream, Kyle.
Hell yeah, dream team.
How dare you?
Wait, here we go. You're part of the dream. You know who else was in here just recently? Orion Taraban for his second appearance in my studio. The dude still refuses to say my name, man. He still won't say it, right? Wait, here it is.
Say my name.
Although I don't know that he didn't, because I know that I told Mike this. I said, Mike, I said, because he told me he was going to have Orion in. I'm like, that's cool. No worries. Just let him know he's in my studio. Thanks for joining us in my studio. No, I don't have anything against CGA. I just had a thing against him working with Anthony Johnson. And now that Anthony Johnson has faded into obscurity, even worse than Destiny, welcome, brother. I'm more than happy to have CGA in here, and I would like to talk to him like one-on-one at some point. So CGA, Greg Adams, if you're watching, please reach out. Let's do something. But Taraban, I don't see that coming to fruition anytime soon. Apparently, he was in Vegas, and Mike didn't tell me. But that's okay. I probably wouldn't have been able to do it anyways because I have shingles. What's your ick? Shingles? Oh, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, I'm fucked. I'll never get laid again.
Let's put on the list.
I'll put that on the list. Ew. But no, Orion Tierman. So I told Mike this. I said, no problem. Have him in. Travis was doing the production for him and everything. And haven't seen it yet. I've probably, it's not unlike what they did last time. But, Orion's been in, Dr. Taraban has been in here before. And by the way, Dr. Taraban, only able to practice medicine or practice psychology or clinical psychology in the state of California because he got his degree at a diploma mill and he's only registered in California. That's something he leaves out of the equation quite often. So like at least Jordan Peterson, he can go anywhere. He is a clinical psychologist. Taraban was in here. And so I told Mike, I said, can you just do me a favor? I said, ask him one question. He was like, okay, what? I said, ask him this. How much has Rollo Tomasi's work influenced your own? I don't know that he did. I don't know if he said that. I would just love, you're going to come in my house. I'm going to put you on the spot. Okay. Even if I'm not here, the spirit of Rollo swirls around and in through the kitchen over there. Yeah. So I thought that was funny as hell. Oh yeah. Here, wait, give me the spirit. We should put the spirit of Rollo. But you didn't know there was a Funko Pop. This is actually from Vikings. Rollo on Vikings. The spirit of Rollo. Ooh, I can't do it anymore. I can't take it. Okay, so that was UN Women versus the Council of Trent. God, guys, really, if you're going to attack the manosphere, come correct. I don't care that you do, but at least, like, can you put a new spin on it other than like it's feminism? It's not feminism. You are feminism. You're working for the same goals as feminism. At least the red pill is against it, right? At least we point out female nature. As I said before, making observations, unflattering or otherwise, of female nature, if a man does that, it is always comes off as complaining. Who hurt you? Go touch grass. Do you know any real women? So keep that in mind when you see guys like Trent. What's his bucket? Right? I think he's going to be at TPUSA. What is it? What's the date today? Today's the 8th. You're like, and this starts on the 13th. So but between now and the 13th, you're going to start seeing more and more of this shit. And you're going to see more and more of these fast hit, drive-by clips. And they're all going to shit on the manosphere because that's easy. Like I said, that's easy, cheap content for these guys. And again, if you guys want that content, great. But come at me correct. Come at me. Come at Myron. Name a fucking name and come at us. Instead of this nebulous, the manosphere, this. Who are you fucking talking? What do you understand the words are coming out of my mouth? Okay. I got one more thing here. I got a couple. I have to clarify this first. I'm sorry. I got to stop the show. I have to clarify this first. Don't worry. I'll get to the super chats. I promise you. But I don't know if you guys know this, but cooking is gay.
Uber Eats every day in Miami or at home, right? I never cook. Or if I do go to the grocery store, I only buy what I eat that day. I keep an empty refrigerator is the point. But and on top of that, my dad's like, son, don't you think it'd be so much cheaper if you cooked? And I said, no, not really. Actually, if you think about it, I said, let's talk about that scenario. Calling the valet, getting downstairs in the elevator to valet, getting in the G-Wagon, burning fuel, sitting in traffic on Biscayne, go to Publix, right? Trying to find a parking spot at Publix, getting out, looking around the store for what I want. Dude, I want fucking chicken or steak. All right.
This is oddly specific.
To be fair. Getting the food, all the ingredients, going home, parking again, going back up the elevator, getting the pots and pans out, cooking like a fucking idiot. I'm cooking, I'm saving money. Okay? The soap, the Dial soap that costs $8 a little bottle. Oh, clean the dishes. Clean the plates. Fucking nerds. I'm like, I save money. Bro, if you make any more than $15 an hour, that whole 4-hour ordeal is worth paying an Uber driver the extra 10% to bring the shit to you. Mm-hmm. It's worth it. Oh, and by the way, the restaurant makes food better than you, asshole.
It's healthier. You can get macros done.
Yeah, come on, dude. Like chicken steak, bring it. Mm-hmm. It's good. And yeah, it cost me $100. But if you actually look at the gap, so let's look at the gap. Let's say I did save $40. If you were to divide the amount of money I make per year by 2,080 hours, which is a 40-hour work week, how much do I make an hour? So how much did that meal really cost me to make? How much shit did I get done while that Uber driver's on his fucking bicycle peddling that shit over to me?
It's a completely different shift than what
it's bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. So let me pull that out of there. So this video was making the rounds, and at no point in this video does he say cooking is gay. It's the title of the video, but cooking is gay, right? And of course, what happens then is because Jay, and this is on him, has such an affinity for Andrew Tate and the Tate brothers, people think that he's like sort of like the proxy for Tate, so they want to go after him, right? Now, I know what he's talking about because I know, and I'm friends with him too, but we all, myself, Mike Sartain, all of us happen to be friends with Brandon Carter, okay? This is straight out of Brandon Carter's like life book, right? And I brought this up and people gave me shit about it when I did my vasectomy tweet, right? And the whole thing about that vasectomy tweet was this, is that It was what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up to be a high value guy, right? And so I said the quickest way to become a high value man is to forego, family, forget about marriage, forget about family, avoid marriage, avoid family, family ties, get a vasectomy in your 20s, right? That was to protect yourself from being baby trapped, just like Fresh, right? Here.
God wants you to have the baby.
Definitely not.
You would have avoided that had you had the vasectomy. All I'm saying, right? Now, of course, everybody takes that and runs with that. And they go, the red pill's talking about self-sterilization. Nobody's saying that, dumb fuck, right? But everybody wants to take it as literally as they possibly can because that's the only way you can get any kind of cheap content out of it, right? And then there's other things I was talking about, always lift, resist the urge of letting up on your focus, all that other good shit, okay? So this is exactly, this is almost like Justin Waller's vasectomy moment. And people want to say, he said that cooking is gay. He didn't say anything about that. But what he's talking about is he's saying that this is what Brandon Carter does, right? Brandon Carter does not do his own laundry. He does not do his own cleaning. He does not do his own shopping. He does not do his own cooking. He doesn't own a car because, as Jay was talking about, now Jay's got a G-Wagon, but Brandon Carter doesn't even have a car because you don't really need one in Brickell because the traffic is just insane, right? So if he wants to get anywhere further than, Midtown, he's probably going to either take the train or he's going to be in an Uber, right? Fine. It's going to cost him less in the long term than buying a car and trying to drive it around in traffic ass Brickell, right? Makes sense, doesn't it? Because how much money, and this, I forget which book this comes out of. It's probably like Buy Back Your Time or something like that. But how much money do you make doing what you do? Me writing a book, right? Or him doing his, whatever it is that Jay does that makes him a shit ton of money. Take that and divide it by 24 hours. What is an hour of your time worth? Well, then you can pragmatically look at that and then figure that out against, I have to go down to Publix. Publix is a grocery store. You go to a grocery store, go and pick up the food and everything else that you need. You got to also have some sort of know-how, right? Go down, pick it up, create the food, do all this stuff, wash the dishes, all this other shit. And how much money would you have saved had you just simply went and had somebody go and do all that stuff for you? And if you are, well, maybe not me, but if you are Jay Waller or you are Brandon Carter or you are Michael Sartain, who doesn't have any family ties in Vegas, right? He doesn't have to worry about supporting his mother-in-law or a wife or dogs or anything like that. And so his time is way more valuable than mine, by mathematically speaking. But what is worth your while? What do you want to do? If you're doing it because you enjoy cooking, fuck, I mean, it's a hobby, right? You get something out of it. You get some enjoyment out of it. If you don't, cooking is gay, right? So all he's talking about is time management and money management and how much is that worth to you? Like for Brandon Carter, he doesn't do anything for himself that he can't farm out, that he can't pay somebody else to do, because paying them will be cheaper than the time he would lose making money, writing a book, doing the next podcast, doing whatever the fuck it is that Brandon Carter does, right? Doing his motivational speeches, who knows, right? Or David Goggins, or Ty Lopez, or Tony Robbins, whoever else. Their time is worth way more than your time is. So yeah, going and doing that doesn't make sense. Now, it might make better sense for you, because if your time isn't worth, if you're on an hourly job, then it might make more sense to go out and get, cook for yourself. And maybe you are a better cook than I don't know. I know I'm a better cook than the guys at Chipotle. Definitely. So anyways, I just wanted to point that out because a lot of people were saying that, oh, he thinks that cooking's not masculine. No, he didn't say anything about that whatsoever. He just said it's just impractical, like time management wise, it's impractical. I wanted to hit on that because I was going to get to that last week and I didn't get to that video. I've read once that women are slightly nervous around you when they're attracted to you. Yes, they are. Because I'll explain that. Is this true? Yes. How do you tell if it's attraction or they really don't like you? They will let you know if they really like, oh, Put it this way. A woman who is attracted to you, a woman who is aroused by you, a woman who really likes you will not confuse you. You're confusing yourself is what you're doing. So you're overthinking it. So, well, how do I tell if she really doesn't like you? She will let you know. She will give you, if you give her creep vibes, you'll know. Trust me. that will be made pretty easy. Women are covert in their communications, but when the need for no uncertain, miscommunication is possible, they will say, "Get away from me, you jerk." That's women leaning over into overt communication. Go away. Get off of me. Crab. Why you all up under me? Women who are attracted to you, they do get nervous around you, but in very rare instances. And what I mean by that is you have to be really, 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 really ridiculously good looking for that. Like, you have to be like so exceptionally good looking, like you're the best looking dude that this chick has ever thought she might be able to get with. Yeah, she will. How do I know that? Go and look at any of the interviews of Henry Cavill when he is being interviewed for The Witcher. And then there's his almost all female cast, right, that are with him, and they'll bite their tongue and they're always looking at him and they're looking at each other, kind of thing, like goofing off. That's what I'm talking about right there. That makes Henry Cavill is so good looking, he makes women nervous. So now, is that you? Probably not. I wouldn't I'm worried about this. Don't worry, you are fine. Henry Cavill is like, he's not even in the top 4.5%. He's like in the top 1%. That's why I shouldn't use him as an example. Hey Rolo, Alien Earth looks good. You ready? Yeah. Are you gonna watch it on Hulu?
I'll watch it, but I mean,
but it's Disney.
Exactly.
It's a series. How good could it be? I don't know. I said the same thing about Romulus, and it was pretty damn good.
True.
I'm gonna give it a chance. It's Alien. It's like there's no bad pizza. There's no bad Alien.
I'm just hoping they don't retcon more shit.
Like, I even liked Alien 3, and people gave that like people hated that one. Requiem was what's the one with the baby? Is that was the fourth one? That was Resurrection. Yeah, Alien Resurrection. Yeah, I mean, I get why you would say like, some of it was kind of schlocky at the end when you tried, like, no one has ever been able to. I'm sorry, I digress. No one has ever been able to do a good Alien versus Predator. Never. Yeah. It's never happened, and it's sad because if they just took the Dark Horse plot from the original Dark Horse Alien versus Predator way back in the 80s, like the late 80s and stuff like that, it's already there. The fucking plot's there. The story's written for you. And it's the most amazing Alien versus Predator thing. And it's not on Earth. It's on another planet. It's Weyland Yutani, all this other stuff. It's fantastic plot. Absolutely. Like, I would give it, it's up there in my top 5 books of all time. Right? Love Alien versus Predator, the Dark Horse version of it. Right? Everything else was downhill after that. Yeah. Seriously, Alien Hive, Alien Earth, Alien this, Alien that. Like, how many did, like, Alien versus Batman? Really? Alien versus Justice League. Come on, man. Alien versus X-Men. Come on, man.
I will say though, Freddy versus Jason though, that was a good one.
Okay, you could do that.
It was decent.
Yeah, but that's in the realm of believability. Yeah. No, they just haven't been able to do it. I hope they will. I'm going to watch it. We can talk about it once it's up and rolling. That FNF podcast with Rolo Sartain and King Keto was King Keto. I think that's Brandon Carter. Was awesome. Cleared up the vasectomy tweet, but people only talked about Brandon calling out Rolo and Mike Rashid beef, which I have no. You know what's funny is Mike Rashid now has beef with Fresh and Fit, and I got no beef with him whatsoever. I like Mike Rashid. Tells you how much shit can change, like, really, really quickly. All right. Do I have anything? How much time do we have left?
Like 10.
10 minutes? Okay, we'll clear out then. That's fine. I don't have anything else really too much to do. I do want to point out one more thing, actually, with the time we have left here. I'm going to channel my inner turd flinging monkey here for a moment. Anything that gets said at Turning Point USA, and let's just presuming tomorrow actually does go off. Like I said, I'm going to be bringing up stuff that's probably going to be really uncomfortable for these chicks. I mean, assuming we get to that point. I don't know that Lila Rose will be on or not. Who knows? I got a feeling that a lot of these chicks from, where'd it go? From this, yeah, this is the speakers list right here. I don't know a good portion of these. I know who Erica Kirk is. I know who Alex Clark is. I know who Tulsi Gabbard is. I know Brett Cooper is. And by the way, that's the most disappointing part of this entire clusterfuck, right? Because I think a lot of people had some semblance of respectability for Brett Cooper. Of all of these chicks that are on there, I think Brett probably had the most respectability. Now you're going to put her on the bill with Nala Fit. It's over. You're done. Dana Lash, by the way, that Dana Lash, that's not the one from CNN. She's the gun rights girl. Allie Beth Stuckey. She just goes by Allie Stuckey now. Anyways, the one thing you're never going to get around with, like, women like this are just going to use this as sort of like middle school, jibes and taunts and stuff like that. That's all this is going to end up devolving into. That's all that happened with, when you get to the point where you say, hey, what's in it for guys? What's men's motivation? And when you get to the point where they go, well, it's masculine duty. You're not a real man unless you are a sacrificial lamb. You're not a real man unless you're a martyr. You're not a real man unless you do these things that we want you to do. And not enough guys are doing what we want them to do. And we need men to be better men. No, you need better men to solve the problems of women. And that's always what it's going to come down to when it comes to traditional conservatism, when it comes down to the covert feminism that is endemic in the conservative party right now. I think it's interesting that it took Trump taking office to reveal what I've been talking about for ages. I've been talking about this since my third book, that the conservative party, certainly Christianity, any kind of conservative-based Christianity, is rife with feminism. And we're just now starting to see it fray around the edges a little bit. Like, I think Andrew Wilson sort of brought it to light when he challenged Tommy Lahren. And Tommy still doesn't have an answer. In fact, she's still stinging from that interview, from that engagement with Andrew. That's why she had to go on Laura Ingraham and have her say, because it's like she's one of these bitches that has to have the last word.
Oh yeah, I'm going to go on Laura Ingraham and I'm going to get what I say what I want. I do what I want.
Whatever. Whatever. Right. We need that as a sound drop. But yeah, I mean, so you're dealing with children here, functionally with children. The only person even Brett Cooper is still a child. I mean, compared to me, but compared to, a lot of the other women that are on this panel, like, in what world do any of these women have anything to say about leadership or women's suffrage? Like, what are they going to talk about? Empowerment? You're in the conservative party. Like, what are you like? We're going to fight for our rights. What rights don't you have? Like, there's questions that the red pill asks that the likes of Tommy Lahren will never be able to answer. Simply, like, I could probably answer it, but she's not going to be able to answer it because she doesn't have any experience with guys like Andrew Wilson. So she has to go and find catharsis on Laura Ingraham and pop off about that, right? When she knows nobody's going to challenge her. Nobody's going to poke back. Andrew poked back, and then she didn't feel like it wasn't satisfying enough for her, so she had to go on Laura Ingraham, right? So I'm going to definitely call that out. If Nala Ray Nala Ray is supposed to be on there, but I'll tell you right now, there's one caveat that you can't fight, and that's you can't fight God. If you believe that Nala Ray is the agent of Jesus Christ, is the agent of Yahweh, Jehovah, Jireh, whatever the hell you want to call him, if you believe that she is the messenger of God amongst all these people, then there's nothing I'm going to say that is going to convince you otherwise, because to do so would make you question your belief set and your religion. And none of these women have I'll tell you right now, not a woman on this panel has the insight to do that. You want to talk about accountability? You know what's more rare than accountability in women? Insight. Never will you see that. That doesn't even grow at the barrel of a gun. Accountability, yeah. Well, you might do it to save your life, but insight, that has to be like self-generated, man. And none of these women have a capacity for that. Definitely not Nala Ray. She is a grifter, a supreme grand poobah grifter. And the very fact that I'm even bringing her up only amplifies that fucking signal. Then I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of myself that I even bring up this bitch's name. Still today in 2025. And you know why I'm doing it? You know why I'm bringing up her name? Why even Pierce Morgan wants to say, should she even belong on this show? You know why I'm having to confront this? Because Charlie fucking Kirk is such a fucking pussy that he thinks that that's a good idea. He thinks having her on is what a fucking splendid idea. What's she going to talk about? I don't know. Just throw on the fucking bill. That's all that matters. Well, she talked it out with Michael Knowles and it didn't really go all that well. Doesn't matter. She was a porn star. Look at those fucking extensions. She's got to show them off somewhere. Like, come on, man. So anyways, I'll do my best. I promise you guys that. Do we have any more supers? No, we don't. Are we out? No, I got one. Here we go. After dealing with feelings of betrayal, I have decided to pick up my guitar after years of neglect. Get dusted off. What exercises would you recommend doing on the daily? Look up. There's a really good. Well, it depends on what kind of music are you going to play. I mean, I could have you run scales. That's easy enough. Just go through all your modes. That's where I would start. But if you want to look somebody up online, go look at Bernth, B-E-R-N-T-H. He's a shredder for sure, but he's got a really good program that's good for beginners as well as advanced. Bernth, B-E-R-N-T-H, and I forget the name of the band he's in, but he's one of the guys I follow on YouTube. But go check him out, man. I think if you play metal, you're definitely going to like Bernth. Would you rather be stuck in the woods with a random bear or accountability? A bear. Is that the right answer? Anyways, we got to get out of here. All right, guys. Thank you, Kyle, for sticking with me today. And I will check tomorrow. There's a distinct possibility I might be on. I don't know. I think they record it. I'm pretty sure they record these stupid things. But anyways, we'll see what happens. If they, as I said, I've gotten the call from them before and they blew me off once before. So I don't know whether or not that's going to happen. We'll see. But I will let you guys know for sure. And then what's really going to go down for 100% is Tim Pool. Make sure I'll let you guys know when that goes, because that will be live and you will be able to chat in on that, because that's Tim IRL. So I'll be doing that with my good friend Phil Labonte from All That Remains. Take us on tour. Take us on tour. Take us on tour. Also, last thing, if you want merch, go to the merch store. It's in the description. And also reignitealpha.com is the registration for Reignite. But if you want to go on the free Zoom webinar, that is the second link down. It is Reignite. Then it has like the webinar link is on it. It's a different link. It's so you can register for the free Zoom webinar. And what they'll do is they'll just give you an email and send you the Zoom link when it goes up. That will be on Saturday, June 14th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. That will be on Pacific time. So if you're on the East Coast, that's 2 p.m. Okay. So keep that in mind. I live on the West Coast. Sorry. But anyways, 10 till 12, it's 2 hours, and it's going to be a free one, a freebie. And we'll be talking about confidence. We'll be talking about alpha mindset. We'll talk about mental point of origin. And of course, I'll always do Q&A towards the end. So if there's anything pressing that you really want to talk to me about, I'll be there. That's the best way to get in touch with me. And then if you want to join Reignite, you can. We'll have a special offer for you at the end of that if that's what you want to do. But if you don't, that's fine. It's all good. We do these once a month. They're free webinars once a month. And the one that we're doing is on the 14th this month. So we'll see you then. All right, guys. Thank you very much. See you next week. Bye-bye.
I need to feel you on top of me. It was my first time, but I was just a kid when we met and went to bed. It was my first time. What do you expect from me? I'm breaking up the rules now in the game. I've got some new tools. Please do the same. Game by win. Over like a matchbox stereo. Time to keep my thoughts now let go. Bound to keep me up. Oh, those guys are back. But maybe we can fuck again. And maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Won't you put it on me one more again? I need to know if maybe we can fuck again. Oh, Lord. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Yeah, I could have the best in my life. Now we're fucking in the bathroom, tearing up every wall while I got your hair. Why you screaming my name?
Guilty, 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 guilty.
She was swinging in the bedroom, whole time.
That's nasty. It is nasty, right? Isn't it nasty? Ugh.
Well, I'm a whore.
Run me, ride me up and down like a pony. Turning up my song, getting messy. Working up and down on your body. Run me, ride me up and down like a pony.
Bye, Felicia.
Turning up my song on your body. Baby, we'll get down to it all night.
Dump that bitch.
And maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Won't you put it on me one more again? I need to know if maybe we can fuck again. Then maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again.
I feel like I just took a bath in battery acid.
Preceding podcast has been a production of The Rational Male. All rights reserved. 2025 registered trademark. Don't steal Kyle stuff.
Thank you very much. Can I be in charge for a while?
Say my name.
Tell that bitch to be cool.